Hello, welcome back. I'm Blue102 and this is episode 2 of my Minecraft Hardcore Survival World. Where we left off, I was clearing the side of this mountain in preparation for a raid, but I am not planning to do the raid anytime soon. This is just part of a lot of preparation. I want to do the raid to improve my trading with my villagers. I want to bring the cost down. I was watching a video recently and it looks like it may not bring the cost down as much as I was thinking, but I'll take anything I can get. I may eventually need to cross the threshold and figure out how to get a zombie in here, turn everybody, and then turn them back if I want some really good trades. And maybe I don't even need to do all that. I don't really know. I have already managed to get myself some halfway decent armor. It's going to be a grind, but we are going to continue to get better armor, whether or not I turn all these poor guys into zombies. They're currently fast asleep and waiting for the day. Oops. Oddly, they don't seem to close their eyes when they sleep. But here they are. Okay, I would go to sleep, but these guys are going to get even louder. So instead, I'll take advantage of the fact that they're sleeping and clear out some of this cobblestone. How'd that get in there? Oh, I know. The hopper. And we'll smelt up some more iron. Do a little bit of inventory management. And then the plan, because this series started in the middle of my world, currently at day 239, hard to find in that wall of text. This episode is going to be a time travel episode. We're going to travel back in time and discover my origins. So this is my second base and the third main location where I've spent any time. And I've connected my original base to this base through a series of tunnels and bridges, which we will explore right now. So down here back behind the enchanting area, we have this protected entrance next to my relatively new nether portal and an unprotected, well, I guess it is protected at the bottom, entrance down into the deep and scary caves. But then this tunnel here is the beginning of the path to the original base. So once I made it over to this area, I carved a couple of tunnels into the mountain to the village that I spotted in the distance. With this place being completely unlit, we had some defenses put in along the way, including a couple of fairly tall fence walls so that I wouldn't get jumped by a creeper or something like that working my way over here. Since then, I've lit this area up quite a bit more, not completely, but relatively safe even at night. And then this, of course, is a lengthy bridge across that I had to build at midair, which was very stressful, very taxing on the pinky finger. One slip of the pinky finger and down you could go. I did not have Potion of Slow Falling at the time. I think I may have had an Ender Pearl on hand, which I like to keep in my hotbar just to save myself, because even though I have the water bucket, I am no MLG player, so my MLG water bucket skills are non-existent. I think more often than not I simply break my ankles or die instead of actually placing the water. I don't know if I'm supposed to spam the button or not, but anyway, we've made it across the final bridge as we travel backwards in time. And this gets us to this mountain, which is the second place that I ever visited. As you can see, it's lit up there. Spotted this very easy in the distance from my first base. And I spent a fair amount of time at this mountain stripping the iron from it. I don't have a way out through here. Actually, wait, I think I do. And of course, a little safety barrier for when I was initially building it. I think I have a gate through the side here somewhere. Let's find out. Yes, I do. Get the sword out in case of creepers. Not perfectly lit up around here. But this is the second location where I spent any amount of time. And it's been a while since I've been here, so I don't think that I strip mined this mountain. I'm looking for evidence of that right now. I believe, if memory serves, what I did is pretty much went around and collected stuff on the surface. As you can see, I didn't grab all the coal. I'll certainly grab a little bit more of that as time progresses. A little dizzying coming down from here. Trying not to break the ankles. With Fortune 3 on the pickaxe, I get quite a bit of coal. And with Mending on the pickaxe, this pickaxe can basically go forever, as long as I occasionally mine up something like coal or nether quartz, anything that drops a little bit of EXP. And I think that I pretty much only mined ores off of the surface of this, which means I've got an opportunity to come through and strip mine this if I want to get more iron, especially now that I've got Fortune 3. I did not have Fortune when I came through this the first time. So I'll make our way back to our trip through the past and take this opportunity to drop a few more torches around here for future me. I think this is our entrance, one of the new cows. Longhorn. Hello. Yes, nice to see you too. Okay. This way, I believe. Get our sprint on. So eventually, once I bridged over here, I carved this diagonal path in what I hoped was the right direction, gathering resources as I went. A little bit of strip mining here, just by nature of digging out this path. And for anyone who doesn't know, we're up at Y height 138, which is fairly high, sea level somewhere around 62, 64. You actually get a lot more iron at high levels in these modern versions of Minecraft, and seemingly coal as well. That's all changed since the early days. Used to be iron was more common, just like diamonds, deep down. And annoyingly, it seems to be less common deep down, and coal is extremely rare at the bottom, which makes it hard to stay in the caves deep down for a long time because you run out of torches unless you've brought enough. But I guess to encourage exploration, they've changed things, and it does make things interesting, but thankfully mountains are easy to spot. A little bit of a challenge, but you can, even if you don't want to light the whole mountain up, you can dig inside the mountain. And as long as you don't stumble into some large open cave, you can strip mine it from the inside, so not too bad. And that brings us to our first long, arduous bridge. All lit up so it's safe from anything except during the night. Perhaps some phantoms might come through and try to get me if I haven't slept in a while. But building it with iron armor and at this great height was no fun task. The pinky got very tired and it was very stressful. I haven't built many of these throughout my many years of playing Minecraft, and I was surprised to find, since I've not done hardcore, other than this being my second try here, it was just about as stressful as bridging in the Nether in regular, normal mode, survival mode of Minecraft. Where if you drop into the lava and lose everything, it's almost as bad as dying and losing everything, except you do get whatever you've built in the world. Of course, in this case, it's even worse, so the stress level was a little higher. But that aside, we have now arrived at my first base, which is populated by some descendants of the guest cows, which were nice enough to visit me atop of this hill. With all the trees, it's a little hard to tell, but I've got this convenient exit from the top of my starter base, which is nothing but a bunch of noob planks in my structure. If I get up here, we can see, well, maybe we can't really see, but we are on top of a relatively decent hill, which I've extended a bit to form the farm there. Well, let's see, maybe if I get back on my house and come over here, we can see. Yes, this is not bad. See if I can, nope, well, there we go, get on top of the fence. So I spawned somewhere. I don't know if it was in that direction or possibly back there behind the trees, but I spawned in one of these orange wasteland areas. And in my first game, I also spawned in a terrible start. It was taiga, arguably not as bad as the wasteland, but there was no food and no animals in sight in the taiga either. And my taiga was, adjacent to a stony shore where I set up base. Made it about 80 days in total before dying to a creeper that I never saw, while looking at a creeper that I did see. So going back in time, I came from this direction somewhere, possibly over there, made my way into the ocean, made my way up this way, and night was starting to fall. I didn't have much in the way of resources. I certainly wasn't going into that jungle. In fact, I've not been to that jungle except maybe briefly to grab some watermelon or something, but most of that is unexplored. And with no armor, I certainly was not going to venture over there. So as night fell, I climbed this hill. Let's see if I can make my way down without breaking my ankles too badly. Here we go. All right. Past my tree farm here, manual labor. And we can get a good view. Oh, there go the ankles. Even with feather falling. Just a short fall is enough to do a little damage. But maybe from this vantage we can see. There it is. So this hill was quite easy to spot. And I know that gravity works in this game. And I am better at climbing hills than a lot of the monsters, and just the height of the hill gives you an advantage. So it's a nice trick for surviving the night. I don't believe, I did not even have a bed. No sheep had spawned yet. In fact, I spent quite a few nights up here, now that I think of it, without a bed, surviving the night, running down, putting a few torches, spreading out my area of light, and spending the nights working on mining out this area, which we'll look at later. Coming back out in the day, being very mindful for creepers that lasted through the night, extending the torches, and thankfully early on I got some cows that came to visit me, which I was able to turn into a food source pretty quickly. And I believe I braved the waters a little bit for some fish and gathered the seeds around my area, got the farm going, was able to keep alive, obviously, as I'm still here. But I did largely avoid the waters, especially at night, because what I found personally, one of the banes of existence, especially, not that I've experienced this much, but in hardcore this would be a true bane, is the drowns. And not just any drown, but those horrible, nasty drowns with the tridents. And just like the skeletons nowadays that no-scope you from great distances, I learned in this playthrough, which we'll get into here pretty soon, I almost lost. One of the 2 or 3 times that I almost died in this playthrough. What is that? Oh, just a fish at the surface. I thought maybe an item. How'd that get there? Okay, I do like to throw a few more torches around. Night is a good opportunity to spot the dark areas. But we'll get back to the top of this mountain here. I don't think I'm in any danger out here. What do we have here? I did strip mine this. Whoops, I did strip mine this mountain. Well, maybe I'm in a little danger. Not much, though. That guy's probably... Well, let's take an opportunity here to slowly scale this mountain and see how easy of a time he has getting to me. Because some of these jumps I can make that he can't make. I think he's going to go around and maybe find his way up. Let's find out. Can you get here? Around that way, probably. Yep. But as you can see, it took him quite a long time to get me, so even if I just kept on running, most mobs are not going to be able to sneak up on me. Most mobs are not going to wander up here. The zombies, now that I've killed one, if there's any other in quite a distance, they will come find me, including the babies, which are difficult because they're fast and have a small hitbox. And seem to be a bit OP. But because it's so lit up, I'm not that worried. Anyway, we've made it back to the top. I do still have a bed here, good. And we'll bring it back today, eliminate the threat of any... I always forget what those things are called. Phantoms. Get distracted here and take a look at my treasures, some of the old stuff that I've gathered in the past, above ground and in the mines and through some fishing, some cobble and dirt from the mining. Not much to see here, but which way is it? Oh, right. I haven't spent a lot of time at this base in the last several Minecraft days, but this way is my staircase down. In order to trade and to improve and grow, I know that I needed a lot of paper. Well, I didn't need it, but paper's certainly good for books and paper good for trading, so we have a paper farm, or a sugarcane farm down there, which I might as well harvest while I'm in the area, and a fairly safe stairway down. Next to this very unsafe area here. Unsafe simply because it's water. And this is one of the places, I think the very first place, where I actually almost died. And, oh, Enderman. How tall is my base here? 2? Okay. Oh, well, forget that. Hello, rain. My fondest friend. Anyway, some raiders, or pillagers, not raiders I guess, but some pillagers, a group of 4 wandering pillagers, assuming that's what they're called. I always forget if they're called pillagers or illagers, but 4 gray guys, one with a banner, with crossbows. I spotted them over there, and I knew I could get, in these new versions of Minecraft, I can get a potion of bad omen, we'll call it. So I shot them with my bow, killed them all over there, and it was getting to be night. I didn't want to lose the potion, so I made my way across think the land connects up there, or I swam and climbed. That's right, I swam, climbed, and there's my dirt pillar even. And there was a potion over there. I still have it. I got it. It was a potion of Bad Omen 3, or whatever it's actually called. And of course, as it was night, and I've got this deep, dangerous pool of water over here, wouldn't you know it, a drowned with a trident had spawned. And right about as I got over to that area, found the Bad Omen potion thing, collected it, got my experience points, and was making my way over, he starts pitching his tridents at me, and I think I was in iron armor at that point, but the damage that stuff did was immense. So I started running along. You can see my torch trail running along, and it's night, and this area is not lit up at all over there. And a zombie came out of the woodworks. I had to hit him to get him out of the way. So more zombies started showing up because they heard his cry. And tridents were flying left and right. I kept juking and jiving, running behind trees, busting through, making my way up and around, up over there, can't really see it, around, and finally made it to safety, just barely surviving. So long story short, I survived, but this is why I have fences everywhere. This is the only open area I'm fishing, but I can quickly run back into here. I can get up in here behind this wall here, or stand back in here, come behind these fences. Should probably make them a little taller. Let me just check if I happen to. Yes, I do have fences on me. I don't know whether I'll spend that much time here, but this is a good spot for fishing. And pretty early on I did get, it's not on me, a Lure 3 bow out of this lake, which really speeds up the fishing. And then before long I was able to get, I think through my villagers, so maybe it wasn't before long, but eventually, oh, there goes that torch, I was able to get Luck of the Sea 3, and I think I put mending on it, so I've got a great bow that I'll probably use from time to time to get some enchanted books and other random things that might be useful going forward. I'm doing pretty good. Did I already really use up all my... Wow. They go quick. Okay, we'll put that back. Anyway, this is pretty much the end of the time travel story, except that now we can reverse our time travel and go forwards, and I can show you the things I did after getting here. This was one of those things, not one of the first. The cow farm and the wheat farm were the first two things that I did just to keep me alive. And mining was probably right in there, mixed in. I alternated between those. But here we are on my sugarcane farm. I had to wander out and find a couple of pieces, but it spread so quickly, multiplied it. And I usually use lily pads or something, but I didn't have that many. These are fairly expensive, surprisingly, but they're just logs. And went with trapdoors. Now that, and I know it's been in the game for a while now, but now that water logging is a thing, basically meaning you can place things like trapdoors down and it doesn't eliminate the water. Doors still do, thankfully, which let you, at least in Java Edition, which I'm on, which lets you breathe at the bottom of the ocean, which I hear does not work in Bedrock. But anyway, in Java Edition here you can, and in Bedrock, you can place these and it doesn't eliminate the water, which is great because you can stand on this spot and it still counts as a water block for the sugarcane and for farms and stuff. So even though it's annoying mining up all the trees, it is nice to be able to stand on this. Maybe there's a better way. If there is, comment below. Let me know. But this works, and once you get trees going, and especially once you get a decent axe, which right now I've got efficiency 3 and mending on, And I'm breaking, which anyway, efficiency 3, not bad. I think that can go up to efficiency 5. Again, not the expert, been playing for years, but there's so much in this game that I don't remember it all. Okay, not to get too distracted, which I will get quite frequently, but hopefully I have the presence of mind to get back to the topic. This episode, which will probably ramp up soon, being a time travel episode, we will now start traveling forward. So, we are back to... Oh goodness, oh that's my torch, way out there. Okay, anyway, out of my fairly safe little fishing spot. Not too worried about closing those now that this area is fairly lit up. We will go back to the caves. And, it's not night, is it? And this is not a thunderstorm, so forget sleeping. We'll have to deal with the rain. How's my inventory? Full as usual. But I don't expect to pick up too much more. This was not the first thing that I did, but I did dig out a possible future basement with a little lookout here, which I'm not sure is entirely safe, but reasonably safe, except for the possibility of somebody who speed runs his way and drops on here. Probably fine, even against the baby zombies. Can I get out here? Speaking of distraction. Yes, I can, without even opening that. Amazing. Like I meant it. Anyway, so this is more than strip mining. I cleared this area out. Once again, we are up at 101 height, not as high as some of those peaks over there, but still decent elevation, decent amount of iron, and definitely found a lot of coal. But I did go down two blocks between the top and bottom mining areas there, so 2 solid blocks between levels and my 2 blocks of height. And I went ahead and started strip mining this all out. And so we've got this labyrinth of strip mined area here, and if I can find my stairwell. I did repeat that a few times. Goodness, did I not do that level? Maybe I didn't do as much as I thought. Well, I started and I strip mined that area, and unless I went in there, maybe that's it. I may be mixing up. I did this on my final base, the base where we started, to quite a depth, especially since we were up high. But I did a little and got a fair amount of resources from that. Apparently stopped. And this is my original cave, original deep scary cave, working our way down past some fairly useless staircase heading down. This was where I found my first slightly scary cave, we'll say, and I set up base in this area and walled this off because this was fairly filled with mobs. Dug into the wall and poked out, dug in, poked out, dug in, poked out, threw a torch down occasionally, and eventually made my way out into here. Anyway, if you can hear this, we've got flowing water and skeletons. And I have not opened this up since I placed it. Take a peek. Let's see how dangerous this is. Not too bad. Oh, I did not place a slab on top of that. I wonder if I can reach. I don't have a slab in my hotbar. Let's see. I usually carry a slab in here, and I do not have a slab in there. No slabs in my inventory. Now our inventory is going to be full. I know some people say they don't like these bundles. I know some people say they love them. I love them. They're just useful for when you have a large variety of items in small quantities each. You can't store more items than you could, but your inventory doesn't fill up. Okay, not the normal organization I use for that, but let's make a couple slabs and see if I can reach that skeleton spawner. This could be dangerous. I'm not going to let myself fall in there, whatever I do. But let's see. What do we got? Sword didn't reach, I don't think, unless I was too slow. Okay, that's clear. I can't tell, am I... Yes, I am able to reach that. So, if I get up a little higher, I can probably place a slab on that. Let's try. Okay. Is one block going to be enough? Maybe. So this torch here is just to tell me which block opens up kind of directly to that. Okay, this is going to be a bit risky. Maybe. No. Okay. Oh, I believe I can do it. Oh, happy days are here again. And the reason why I want a slab on there is... Oh, no! Well, whatever. I'm going to leave that there. Let's see if I can reach that. Come on. There we go. Now, do not break the spawner. Do not break the spawner. Shift. Get over. Okay, right there. I cannot make a mistake if I'm not aiming at that. Whew! Okay. Anyway, the slab, if I understand, mobs cannot spawn on it. But as you could see earlier, the skeletons were more than happy to spawn right on that. And the reason that's not desirable is a few of them can just... Wow! What is happening? That was loud. I think we just reached our mob crowding cap. And some skeletons died down in the trap. Well, it's not so much of a trap, but it, I guess, acted as one there. Yep. So this... Oh, that is so loud. I might have to turn the volume down. Let's do that quickly, just for now. Options. Sounds. Hostile creatures. Okay, this is going to get loud. So we'll do this for now. But I just pushed them down the water into this little spot, and this is my experience and bone and arrow and random armor farm. And I stand on this slab here. We've got a staircase here for minimum opening, staircase there. And I did wonder, I'm glad actually that this happened, although it was loud and scary. I wondered whether the spawner would spawn enough skeletons to actually get them to crowd out and die. Which means that, well, it's gonna be very slow, but I might occasionally see an item just pop into this hopper, assuming they drop items when they die due to overcrowding. Anyway, if I can ever get past all the distractions here... Oh, gotta look. Yep, I saw it. I just barely saw it. So they do drop items. So I could actually AFK here for bones and arrows. I just learned that. That is really cool. There we go. Wow. Okay. Not the main intention. I wonder if they'll drop their armor and other things as well. There's my slabs from before. I've got a great sword for this. Not ideal. I think Smite would work better on the undead. But sharpness 4, fire aspect helps a little, and of course the mending. So an unlimited sword. I used to use stone swords, but now I can just sit here and decimate these guys. And even though I'm up at level 23, or was, you'll see how quickly I got to level 25. And it's not ideal. They don't take any fall damage. As you can see, the staircase is very short. The bottom of the spawner of the original spawner is right there. All I did was carve 2 blocks below the spawn, maybe 3, and I put water, I believe, in the far corner and let that flow out as far as it would. Carved out all the blocks the water was not touching. Carved a hole in this. Carved out each block that the water was just barely touching, right at the edge, so that the water would always drop down and flow out. And so it flows from that far corner into this corner. What I did is I carved a path out a little, right until when the water stopped. The water does not flow into the hole, and the zombies are pushed off the edge into the tiny hole, but they just have a real small drop and land on this hopper, which feeds into this double chest, and they don't take any fall damage. So not ideal from that perspective. It would be, I would love it if they could take fall damage, and I just have to hit them once. Not that it matters that much. I don't even know if you'll be able to hear me over all the background sound. I'll check in the video afterwards. This will be the first video that I'm doing that will have some editing. I will be using Microsoft's Clipchamp, in case anyone's curious. Not the excuse me, not the best editor on the planet, but for free and for noobs like me, should make it fairly simple. But my intention is a nice casual video. You can listen to me talk. You can see what I'm up to. And I do intend for this to be a bit of a learning experience. Obviously not for the veteran players, although maybe you'll see something you haven't seen before. I am a veteran player in the sense that I have been playing since not the very first days of Minecraft, when it was out in a browser. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. Minecraft having its roots in Java, which is ideal for browser programming. But shortly thereafter, I don't know if it would be called alpha, but I started so far back that, let me think, what mobs existed? I believe there were, of course, creepers, zombies, and skeletons. As far as hostile mobs go, that may have been about it, at least as far as on the land. There was no nether, certainly no end. There were no villages or villagers. I'm trying to think back. I'm pretty sure there was a cow. This is kind of fun, taking a trip down memory lane. I can remember in the early days, cows would fairly often spawn in a tree. And that started perhaps the cow tree meme, or tree cow meme, however that went. And I remember spotting a few of those myself. There were no biomes. That was the initial... Oh, my cat is coming in, wants to be part of this. Alright, well, that was my cat interrupting me. It was time for lunch, which my cat knows. Yep, and there she goes. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, trees, original Minecraft. So back in the beginning, when I started, this was the only type of tree. I am pretty sure it did not have as much variety as it does today. It formed in this little form and a couple of other forms perhaps. And that was it. It was nothing but oak. Apple drops were a lot higher, if I remember, come to think of it. There were no biomes. It was all the same everywhere, if memory serves. And then shortly thereafter, we started to get a little variety. I remember they added new trees. I don't remember how early birch was. I want to say there were like 4 trees. 4 types of trees: spruce, birch, and of course the classic oak. So things were much different back then. All that to say, I have been playing since the beginning. I remember distinctly when they added villages and villagers. They didn't do anything, but they were there, and I thought, wow, somebody else in this world besides me? Where's this all going to go? There's my little spike in the distance that I put up to indicate that I spotted a village past there. It's a bit of an eyesore, but it does remind me of where I've been. Anyway, they added villages, villagers, the Nether, and the Nether, when they first added it, had only one biome, or no biomes, however you want to say that. And it was all just netherrack everywhere. Gosh, I don't remember what all was in there. I remember you find nether fortresses. I think that was in there from the beginning. Maybe the Wither. And then eventually they added, did they add the end at the same time or not? I'm not sure, but I think that came later. Well, that alone should give you an idea of just how long I've been playing. I can't even remember half of my own history, but maybe that says more about me. Oh, a wandering trader. Let's see. I can't even, I don't have any emeralds on me. I can't empty my inventory. But I can see what he has to trade if I can find it. No, maybe I should find something that's going to do nothing. We'll do that. Right, where are you? There you are. I could sell my buckets of water for 2 emeralds each. That actually seems like a good deal. I want to say I had to sell 1 bucket of lava for 1 emerald. And this is new. I did hear about this. And there's that trade, just exactly what I had. So with my 4 emeralds, what can I get? Potion of invisibility. I can make one. I may have to get them. Spruce logs, a flower, some drip leaf. I can get that in one of the lush caves that I'm aware of. Green dye, pale moss block, pale forest biome, or whatever it's called, and some sort of a blue flower. Anyway, as usual, pretty useless. Now this, fermented spider eye, I can make sugar. I don't know what other ingredients go into it, but I've got lots of spider eyes because I do have, I haven't shown it to you yet, but I do have a spider spawner as well, which we'll take a look at probably in another video. Alright, here's a question. Do I want more leads? Leads are fairly hard to come by. I now have the inventory space for it. What do I want to use? My axe or my sword? Sharpness 4. Yeah, we'll try the sword. Where'd you go? It's like they're on to me. I hear them. Ah, there they are. Hopefully they don't knock me downhill. There's one lead. These guys are tanks. And there's the other lead. Excellent. A couple of fairly free leads, and the sound of this guy drinking. Now that reminds me what I should do before I get much further. Alright, I think this video is going to come to a close here soon. I do want to ask any of you if you made it this far. Of course, thanks for watching. Especially those of you who are YouTubers, content creators, but anybody in general. This is only my second video on the channel, the second video I've ever made for YouTube. So I would really appreciate any advice, tips you have, criticism. I know this is not going to be the most engaging video series necessarily. Maybe you'll love it. Hopefully you will. But please feel free to leave me any criticism or comments down below. And hopefully as I progress, you'll be able to see my quality of content, speaking ability, audio quality, all of that just go up. But for now, this is Blue 102 signing off.